Well, it's interesting because right now I believe that we need to look towards becoming energy independent. And how do we do that? We look at all of the above: oil, gas, nuclear, you name it. We should be looking at everything, and we should have a goal set for energy independence. And we can do that here in America. We ultimately have gone away from that. We talk about things that have been done. I mean, when my opponent and the president pushed for cap and trade, I mean, think about that bill. That would have diverted us away from potentially energy independence. Look at the pipeline. Look at the Keystone Pipeline. Another diversion away from energy independence. We need to be able to look at all of the above. And we need to be able to work toward making sure that we can meet our goals. But again, those goals have to include oil, gas, nuclear, you know, all of the energy, wind, solar, all above. And I think we need to work toward that. Well, absolutely, there's a solution to our national debt. Of course, I've been a businessman for almost 30 years, and I've had to get involved with companies that are having serious problems. So one of the first things you do is you look at what they're spending, and that's what we should be doing in Washington. I mean, the solution to the national debt in Washington is we are spending way too much money. Now, there are some that say, well, we need to drive up revenues. My opponent will talk about increasing taxes. The solution is looking at our costs. You know, we need to be able to look at our costs and what we're spending. We need to make sure that we bring our costs down. We do not have a revenue problem in Washington. We have a spending problem in Washington. And we should not ask one American to pay one more dime, not one more dime, until we can take a look at what we're wasting, what we're spending. And Washington needs to get its act together and get its spending in line. And when we do that, we can definitely work to bring down the national debt. We definitely have an issue, and even though bin Laden is dead, as many people will say, I think what we have to look at is the threat is still there. It is still a part of our society. There are people that want to hurt Americans and kill Americans, so we can never turn away from making sure that we continue to be very vigilant and be concerned about that issue. Because if we turn our backs to it and if we don't pay attention, those perils still exist. And we need to make sure that we continue to, you know, the threat will continue to be there. Well, the president's health care plan needs to be totally repealed. I mean, you know, I went to the Congress based on that. And one of the reasons is because the biggest concern with health care, and we do need health care reform, is costs. The problem is the president's health care plan did nothing to reduce costs. In fact, the president said if this health care bill passes, premiums will go down. But if you look at what's happened over the last few years, premiums are going up, costs are going up. And the problem is costs are going up, and small business owners it's making it very difficult for them to employ new people. So what we have to do is repeal it and replace it with common sense ideas that will drive costs down, competition, bringing the private sector in. Those are the kind of things that'll work, because right now it's not working. And again, the 2,400 pages, there are still things that people don't understand and don't know that are in there. We need to make sure we repeal it and replace it with common sense ideas. Well, in the 16th district, yes, in the congressional race, they're going to have a choice of two polar opposites, and I say that all the time. We have someone in my opponent, Betty Sutton, who believes in bigger government, more taxes. She's a career politician. You have someone with me who has spent the last almost 30 years creating jobs, created over 1,500 jobs, built a business, believes in the American dream and the American opportunity, but also believes government needs to get out of the way. Government can actually set the stage so that business owners cannot add jobs, or they can provide a stage where we can produce jobs. Right now, government's in the way, and it's causing problems. So it's two distinct personalities. I'm someone who has had to live with what government rules they make. My opponent is someone who makes the rules, but in most cases has not had to live with them. Two distinct opponents, two distinct options for people in the 16th district.